Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Pat Jones Show. I'm Robbie Robertson, along with Oklahoma State head coach Pat Jones. The Cowboys went on the road this past weekend and were beaten by a much-improved Kansas State team, 23-17. It was a game between two evenly matched ball clubs. Kansas State was able to force a turnover with less than 7 minutes to go, preventing Oklahoma State from taking the lead, and K-State held on for the victory. And Pat, another of those tough losses, but you were able to play a lot of people in the ball game, and I thought they played with effort.
Robbie, I think we played reasonably hard. I thought, like you said, it was an even matchup going in. And I know this sounds like a broken record, and I'm being pretty repetitive about it, but we had our opportunities. And we thought going in that K-State has a pretty good football team. You know, what they did the week prior against Nebraska, I think, really got everybody's attention. But again, we had chances to win the ball game and didn't. But I got to give K-State a lot of credit. I'm really impressed with the way they've directed that program up there.
They ran the ball perhaps more than you thought, or
well,
did they?
Not really. I was concerned about their effectiveness running, and we started getting a few injuries in the interior or defensively overall, and they picked up in their effectiveness of it. But that really did not surprise me.
All righty, we are getting ready to take you to KSU Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas. Oklahoma State against Kansas State. We'll have first quarter highlights when the Pat Jones Show continues. There was lots of sunshine in Manhattan, Kansas this past weekend. Also quite a little bit of wind, Pat.
Wind was a factor. It normally is up there, and it can some years more so than others, but Kansas State won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. We took the ball. This did concern us, going against the wind early on, so you can kick the ball deep into the end zone. And we're going to open the ball game here with a little counter play. You can see Gerald hits it pretty clean, and we get a hat on everybody and break it. Kansas State does some things defensively. At times it do give you problems. We run the fullback up in the interior and really don't get much out of it, but they've got a fairly good little package. You can see them running a linebacker through there. Now we get the ball pitched on the option and get it outside and make some yards. Again, now there it is. They had some pressure on us right there, and between checking to what we need to check to and being able to execute the protection in the throw, we struggle with that quite a bit, particularly in the early going. Again, we punt the ball down to about the 23-yard line. They start off. They run a little counter play themselves. You're talking about their success running the ball. Robbie, it really did not surprise me a great deal. Good play by Jason Gilden. Richie Ainsley, who I think played really a good ball game, number 7, maybe his best performance, dislocated his thumb in practice this week, and he's playing with a big cast on his hand. And again, a good play, Michael Woolridge. Clarence Nobles had a death in the family and had to fly down to Dallas to attend the funeral. Actually missed the Friday workout, did not make the trip with us up. Flew back, got it back in there late, and again, that was tough duty for him. They got Joe King turned around right there and hit the pass, but our linebacker core, it had been a pretty tough week on the linebacker core. Again, not much there running the ball, but Carl Straw is a veteran guy who does a nice job of throwing it. There's one linebacker that got outrun there, but it executed things pretty well. I think we thought going in, Straw was a good quarterback, a far better than average quarterback. And again, they are among the nation's leaders in turnover ratio, and they're not turning over much themselves, and they're getting some. They only had the one fumble before the half, so they really did not help us a great deal at all. Kansas State drives down. Now they lead 7-0. We're still going into a pretty brisk wind. They kick the ball off. Now we've got a little chance. It goes 1 yard deeper at the goal line. Mike's doing a good job here. I thought we had a couple of cracks really on most of the kick returns that we had a chance to. Vernon Brown bounces this to the outside, makes a nice run. I thought Vernon played well. Again, both the tailbacks had a pretty productive afternoon in spots. Again, here we see it again. We've got them walled off. Scott Copeland's got one of them pinned. Vernon breaks it. He makes a couple of nice runs in the second half, but we're making some yards running the ball here early on. Go back to throw. Cecil Wilson on a little delay. You can see a repeat here.
Yeah, great catch.
Yeah, nice catch, nice throw. I thought as things really started developing, I never did sense that, Earl threw this ball high here, I never did sense that Earl really got in a rhythm with what we were doing throwing the ball, but here we are at midfield, run off tackle, they fire a corner, make nothing, turn around and run a sweep, fire the corner again, we duck up inside of it, lose yardage right there. So Kansas State, here they come right there. You can see the blitz is on. Okay, now we got lucky right here. Actually, through this ball, Kirksey makes a nice adjustment, comes back and catches it. This is the kind of stuff you have to be able to hit against the blitz. You can see 34 and 44, and they're firing the linebackers. And again, Robert does a pretty nice job of adjusting to this ball and catching it down the middle. At this point here, because we've got the ball inside their 20, I'll run Gerald Hudson, I'll make 5, 6, 7 yards. So we're moving the ball decent right here. Again, now pressure stuff, you got to be able to execute this. Mayfield, his hamstring still bothers him and has throughout the week. You can see Earl scrambling here. We got lucky. Now he does a pretty good job just throwing this ball away to enable us to not to try to force an interception. Blanchard comes in, kicks a field goal, 7-3. We got lucky. I won't say lucky. I mean, it was good, but the wind was kind of messing with throwers, catchers, and kickers a little bit. Kicking off into the wind, really go what we consider a deep onside to kick to pop the ball up high, try to get them somewhere down in there and not let them really have a real chance. And again, they've got it at the 35, a little bit more than we'd like to. Now they run their own counter play, bounce it to the outside. Same thing basically we did to them, they did to us. Okay, just come back and run a little off tackle give. Good play by Satterwhite. I thought Satterwhite played a real good ball game. Again, he's a good play right here. Satterwhite, Gilden, Jay Fleshman, Mike Clark, I think had good performances. It's the same route that they hit us on over there before. Again, they've got a little route that we've had trouble with, or combination routes on that side over there that we've really had trouble covering for the last couple of years, and they did a good job of executing. But you can see they're marching down the field. I thought we were pretty soft defensively. Again, I don't really know what to do about it, to be honest with you, but we were a little softer than we would have liked to have been. So they're down inside the 5-yard line. We're really lucky right here. No gain, good play right on that one. But now they're down inside the 5. Bill Snyder, their head coach here. So now it's 7-3 Kansas State, and they've got a chance to go up some more.
And we'll be back with second quarter highlights in just a minute. Oklahoma State will have the wind at their backs for the second quarter, but the second quarter starts with Kansas State. Possession, 3rd and goal from the Cowboy 4.
Well, this is a nice play right here. Of course, again, they jumped, and this was, I thought this, I can't remember exactly what. Yeah, they jump, come in, kick a field goal, and now it's we're probably lucky right here, but now it's 10-3 as opposed to 14-3. But we're fixing to get the wind at our back, which you can see they're squibbing now into the wind. Where we were using deep onside, they were squibbing. Ronnie Fisher gets a nice little return. We've got a little bit of a crack. We've got the ball across the 25-yard line. Again, with the wind at our back, turn around, run a sweep to Hudson. Good yard. I thought Gerald, particularly in the early outing, really ran tough. Okay, a little option play, gets it pitched, get them circled. All right, good job, Robert Kirksey. All right, here we go now.
Good speed.
Yes, sir. Well, again, I think part of this is, Mayfield has not been able to do a great deal in practice throughout the week. The hamstring has got a knot in it. It kind of comes and goes depending on the weather, but is the effectiveness of him as a legitimate receiver. Good job, Earl Wheeler, on a bootleg. Nice job running the ball. So we're moving it here. We're moving it now. This and the thing that we've got, Robbie, we had the second offensive line in the ball game. Some of these guys are really getting better. They've improved every week. Good throw right here by Wheeler. But Roderick Arthur, Anthony Greenlee, Mike Butler, Matt Joes, who has started, with the exception of a center, we put them in, we told ourselves in the 3rd possession, we're going to just go ahead and put them in. They've improved. They need to play. It's good for morale. And these guys are getting the job done. And you can see good job protection here. Okay, you can see right there Mayfield is really afraid to jump. That ball was thrown a little bit high, but really jump and stretch out. Okay, again, now we hit this and we got in behind them. Okay, there's Mayfield, and they held. Here's a repeat of it now. Okay, coming back. He tries to run the deep route. He's gotten in behind him. You can see the youngster, number 5, and that's probably the smart thing to do because we had him beat. Okay, now we've got Kenny Ford and our power people in. Nice job of the option game, getting up inside, getting positive yards. Okay, turn around, give the ball to Hudson, turn somebody loose. Good job, Gerald, of not taking a loss, of spinning and fighting for extra yards. I run a little boot here, and they had it played. Now, I thought when this happened, Kenny could have had a chance to run the ball in. Cecil came wide open and actually slipped down. Again, everybody's playing on the same field. Now we run the ball, and Gerald picks up a 1st down, but the paint spots on the field are pretty slick. We're on the opposite, and they've got it played. Here again, they're playing on the same surface that we are. run the sweep. We get outside, get inside. Good job, Gerald, keeping your feet moving. We're down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Hudson, I think for the day, had about 150 yards. And, I think by and large ran pretty hard. Another good productive day yardage-wise for Gerald. And he comes down to bootleg. Nice job, Kenny Ford. Good job, Vernon Brown. A repeat of this. Ford, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and we've seen there's certain things. He looks pretty good, does a good job, nice decision, throwing the ball on the run. Good job, Vernon Brown, of getting it caught in the end zone. Blanchard comes in, kicks the extra point through. Now the game's tied at 10, and we've got the win at our back.
So Oklahoma State puts together a good drive, 73 yards, and they kick off to Kansas State. We're all even here now, and Blanchard, I think that one went through the upright.
Went all the way through the end zone. The interesting thing about that drive, Robbie, is again, we had our second offensive lineman in the ball game. That's the first time this year that some of those guys have played in a game. But they came off the field and they're fired up and feeling good about themselves. It makes you feel good as a coach. Now they run the blast and break it back up between the linebackers. And you can see nothing's making us really feel like that we can consistently stop the running game, although they try to run a sweep here. Good job by Woolridge, good job by Mike Clark. Again, Clark continues to play real solid football. Well, we've got good pressure on them right there. I thought we had a chance to intercept that. We were doing a little bit something different with our nickel type package. We had a guy in the middle. This was really a nice throw and catch here they made him. They did a pretty good job of adjusting the tight end to some of this stuff, but we got them stopped. They come in, punt the ball, and we let it die, and so we got the ball now on the 20-yard line, again with the wind at our back. We're going to give the ball off the backside in, runs Gerald down from behind, and Kansas State does a pretty good job of mixing up their stuff defensively. Got pretty good time. We had a couple of guys open here, and Earl just couldn't see them. Now, again, when we started scrambling, Kirksey broke and ran down the field. That happened right in front of me, and I thought we had a chance to really hit a big play. You can see the pressure here, and I think combination of the wind, combination of them doing a good job with their blitz stuff. We did not feel like Earl could really get into a rhythm, any rhythm throwing the ball. Okay, they turn and run it, make a little bit up inside, but not very much. You can see we're playing other people defensively. Roland Scott's in the ball game. The trap gave us problems. Again, we played Tracy Price in here. Yeah, there he is. I think at linebacker. Mm-hmm. We're rolling those guys around, just trying to get somebody to make a play. But I'll say this: Kansas State does a good job of keeping you off balance thing. Now they run the option, really don't make anything. Good play, Richie Ainsley. I thought Ainsley really did a nice job. A good ball game, particularly with his hand in a cast. Good pressure there, and they flip it out. No catch. You can see Ainsley's there with him. Had to think cover. They go for it on fourth down. Tried to throw a little dump to the tight end, and we bat the ball down. I think we actually had it defended anyway. Okay, come off, run some play action ourselves. Had the tight end open, and Earl overthrew it. This is where, again, we were getting the impression that Earl was really struggling with the throwing game. Run a draw. Gerald Hudson breaks it and makes a first down. You can see a repeat of things here now. We've got our original starters back in the offensive line. This is something that, provided we don't get a rash of injuries, we'll continue to try to do. Okay, through that one, and they had it defended pretty well. But you can see Earl's being forced to be a little bit tentative throwing. Again, I don't think he had a lot of confidence in his thing and in his arm for whatever reason. Threw that ball behind Mayfield. I mean, there's certain things that you certainly can do throwing the ball against what we were seeing, but you've got to be able to protect. You've got to be able to execute. Kick to punt the ball into the end zone. Kansas State's going to get it on the 20-yard line. Now this is a big play here. They run a sweep, and Jackson fumbles the ball. We get it. This was, Robbie, you're going to see a replay of it. Up there, I think it was about 4 years ago or something, we had almost this same scenario. They're battling around, and really it's a heck of a ball game. Okay, there's Scott Harmon right there, the freshman. Hit him pretty good, and there's Fleshman. But we'd had a little flurry right before the half, and we were able to hit a pass and go down there and take a lead. Right here, we could not hit the pass. You can see there, again, they're blitzing. They're giving us pressure every down. And so I can't really find out exactly what's going on over here. You can see here comes the pressure. Earl throws. we've kind of got a situation. If we can execute this thing, we've got a chance. Now it's third down, a little over a minute. There goes the pressure right there. Don't have really time to execute everything. This was not a fake at all. See, we just kind of bobbled the exchange. It looked like it was a little bit low from where I was standing, and Barry Vincent didn't feel real good about getting the ball down clean. Okay, good play, Satterwhite. But that somebody asked me after the ball game, that's a fake, and I didn't really know what they were referring to, because we haven't run a fake field goal in about 10 years around here, although we do have one. Okay, now we're going in at the half, tied 10. The only thing we had a chance there right late and weren't able to take advantage of it.
All right, we'll come back and talk about the first half right after this. The score is all even at halftime. We're tied at 10 with Kansas State. And Pat, the statistics from the first half were pretty even too. So, and I know you had mentioned that you thought it was going to be a pretty even ball game, and the wind was certainly a factor in the game, wasn't it?
The thing that was obvious to me is, again, the wind is going to be a factor. We had moved the ball better with the wind, struggling going in. Now, what we had to try to get sifted out at halftime is what we're going to do at the quarterback situation. Right. General opinion was, both with the offensive coaches and myself, that Earl was struggling. Kansas State is going to give us some pressure. Now let's go ahead and make the change and put Kenny Ford in, do a few different things. It does change the style of our play a little bit, but we figured that maybe a little bit more option, hammer it out a little bit. I'm hoping that we can hold the ball on them somewhat. We didn't know what decision Kansas State would make at the half. So again, but we ended up getting the win, so now we've got to make something happen. But the key thing is, yes, it's an even ball game. I know we're going to struggle against their run. We're getting a little bit more nicked up in our defense as the game progresses. But again, it's just like it started. It was 0-0 when the ball game began. It's 10-10 now, pretty much nip and tuck. But like I say, it's just an even game.
Kansas State showing a lot of different looks on defense. Your offensive line, the second unit particularly, was on the field when you engineered the 73-yard drive. That you have to make adjustments in the offensive line, right? As you see these different defensive front, that's pretty tough.
Well, it's not easy. And again, this is one thing that we had really talked about. We have to get these guys in. The only way to really do it is just pick a spot and say we're going to go with them. If they make a mistake, just huddle up and go after again, because they're getting better. Some of them have got some athletic ability. We've just got to get them in the ball game. I think from an experience standpoint, from a morale standpoint, it really helped. I mean, it did me good, quite honestly, as a coach, just to see these young guys, and they're fired up and they're jumping around. They're really pleased with what they've gotten done. We're going to continue to do this in the second half. Interesting thing, the rotation, we had said every third series, Robbie, the first possession of the second half would have been that rotation. We said, let's go back and put the starters in and then put the second group in the second possession. So, but with Ford in the game, yes, that is different, and there is an adjustment period that does take place. We just said, heck with it, just go do it.
I know coming off after that 73-yard drive, that second unit came off the field, and a lot of high fives around there on the sideline. It made them feel good that they were really contributing to the ball club.
Well, you bet it did, and that's one thing. I mean, these guys deserve to play. You just can't wait around for the circumstances at the end to put them in. Let's go play them. They're getting better, and they deserve to be in the ball game.
All right, we're all even at halftime. It's 10-10 when the Pat Jones Show continues. We'll be back with third quarter highlights. Kansas State won the coin toss at the beginning of the ball game. They deferred to the second half, so they wanted the football, and that's not too bad. You go right on defense and make them, or they're going into the wind, huh?
Well, I think, Robbie, the wind, the way it was, I felt like happy it turned out this way. Wanted to have the win. We had engineered the one drive. Again, it's even though we did not get points there early on. Thought we did a pretty good job, Richie Ainsley. Good job, Gilden. Thought we kind of turned it up a notch in here defensively. I really did. For whatever reason, who knows? All right, there's Tracy Price in the game. So we're going to do exactly like what we needed to do, is come in, and here's good pressure. Gilden, they run a screen. Good job, Satterwhite. Good job, Ainsley. We've got them stopped. Exactly the things that needed to happen were happening. We've got the win at our back. The worst thing would have been a long drive and let them eat clock up. We get the ball fielded. We've got it on their side of midfield. Now we've got Ford in the game. Turn around, pitch it to Hudson. Picks up about 8 or 9 yards. We take this. This is a good drive, pretty good looking drive. Again, he looks good throwing the ball on the run. We got a replay coming up. I can't say this is anything real elaborate, But here he goes. He's running back to his left, which is not easy for a right-handed guy, but makes a nice throw. We've got a Kirksey wide open. He catches it. We've got a first down. So again, we're coming back down. Got a sprint pass on again. He threw that off his back foot, but he made a nice throw. So you can see the style of play is a little bit different. Now we've got the power group in the ball game. Runs an option, ducks up inside, doesn't get much. All right, run the sweep. We kick out and get them circled, and Gerald's going to run down right to the 1 or 2 yard line. So you can see that we're just hammering away. A couple of sprint passes, couple of options, some power stuff. You can see, good job,
pretty
fullback.
good move there.
You bet. Again, Hudson had a pretty good afternoon. He was 4th in the country in rushing coming in, and he's a little bit nicked up himself. Tried to go up and over, and Kansas State did a good job. All right, try to run him in again. Gets right down to inside the 1 yard line. Give the ball to Cecil Wilson. He bulls his way in. So now we've taken a lead. Defense is turned it up. All right, there's Kenny. So that you can see that drive there, Robbie, is the things that basically Ford can do best, because we never did get in a long yardage situation. But again, sprint passes, option stuff, movement stuff. All right, they threw the ball behind him right here. Kansas State, again, has got a pretty varied offense. Right here's Straw. All right, a little quarterback draw. Doesn't make a great deal. So here again, okay.
This is a big play here, Coach.
This is roughing the passer. Yeah, doggone. Yes, this was an immensely big play. You can't really see it. I don't think, or I couldn't the first time we watched it. We had a little corner blitz on with Joe King. Straw had thrown the ball, and apparently Joe got it. Okay, here we go right here. Let's just try to see this. Here comes King. The corner threw it. Okay, just get away from him. You know, the officials are, obviously they watch this stuff very, very closely. You know, those guys were on edge. I could tell that from what happened last week. They're really trying to be thorough, and they're calling it, but it was really a cleanly played game. I don't think we only had about 3 penalties or something like this, but that was a real big play. Again, if we stop them right there, all right, here comes Straw. That was 3rd down play. So we're going to get the ball back. You see, defensively, we're fairly gunned up, but the roughing the passer was a real big play. Mike Clark kind of saw them relax a little bit and grabs that ball, and I wasn't so sure he was not going to come out of it and score. With some people, I would have said, hey, don't try this. But Mike's got enough judgment to do this sort of thing. He kind of did a form of it last year when he ran that punt back against OU. You can see this youngster here just kind of quit paying attention. Mike gets the ball fielded and gets back upfield. Now we've got it inside on their side of midfield. Option, we get the ball pitched. Here's Hudson outside. Good job. Ford, as you go, here we go, right here. See, he looks pretty natural doing this sort of thing. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that he's got a pretty good feel for. It gets it pitched outside, and see, now we've got good field position. Now, he actually went the wrong way here. I think he panicked a little bit on this, turned the wrong way, and couldn't do it. Okay, now we run a screen pass, and we couldn't. We got the second lines in the ball game right now. Okay, here he goes back. All right, this was a big play right here. In Mayfield's defense, he has not been able to practice enough to tell it this week because of the hamstring injury. And I don't care how gifted you are, if you're not out there practicing, you're not going to be as sharp as you need to be. Them stopping us right there was a big series. Richie Ainsley had the guy covered. You can see him playing with that cast on his hand. Okay, come back. Scott Harmon, that ball. We were doing a little something different, Robbie, with our nickel package and playing Scott Harmon, the true freshman, in the middle is a kind of a robber look, or what we call it. That ball just went over the top of his hand, just barely missed him. Good pressure. And okay, now that's where they're trying to hit guys down the middle on this look. I think Scott will get better at this sort of thing. Come on, Gilden. Come on, Satterwhite. Good pressure. The guy throws it. That was a little bit of a scramble. If Scotty could have hung in the middle, that was right where they threw the ball. Had a little bit of a blitz on, and they did a good job of getting it off. Got a little bit of pressure coming on. They run a trap. Come on, man, hang on. Stacey Price, you got to run over the guy and run through him. Good pressure, Satterwhite. Satterwhite's really getting after it. Okay, you can see them hit the ball, throw the ball out there. This is a good drive on there. This was crucial. They're going into the wind. They're eating the clock up. They're getting down on our end of the field. Good play, Gilden. Hang on right there. Replay coming up. Again, Gilden showed up. Gilden, there he is right there, number 83, ran a little stunt to the inside. They did not block him. That's a way to hold on Jason Gilden. But, okay, here they come back. He's going to throw. We've got him covered. He makes a scramble up the middle. George Bratt makes the play, but now they're inside the 2. This was oh, mercy. I thought we were going to get this, right? Tried to run an option. Joe King torpedoed the thing. Now they come back and throw a route. I couldn't tell from the bench, but now they give the ball to the fullback, and he's in. This is a good drive on K-State's part. Again, that one little pass, Robbie, on 3rd down that barely went over the Scotty Harmon's fingertips. Again, he'll get to where he makes that play eventually. Now it's tied at 17. That was a big drive on their part simply because they were going in to win and kept our offensive unit off the field when we did think we had a little bit of momentum. There's a squib kick. Fleshman goes back, fields it. Jay, as you can see, he's got a little bit of run ability. The score's tied at 17 right here. All right, toss the ball to Hudson, run the sweep. All right, boy, Gerald. So we've got the ball right up in here. Repeat of it here. You can see we're not doing anything unusually fancy. Just kind of trying to play good, solid football and take care of it and block and run. Score tied at 17. Still an even game.
We'll come back with 4th quarter highlights when the Pat Jones Show continues. Oklahoma State's got the football as we start the 4th quarter, heading into the wind. They've got it 2nd and 3 from their own 36. Coach.
Big play in the ball game right here. I think we're going to mishandle the toss on the sweep. See, it's 2nd and 3. We're moving it. Now we take a big loss right here. This is the first time with Ford in the ball game that we'd really gotten behind yardage-wise, other than the one screen pass. All right, now Kirksey slips down. You can see Robert fall up at the top. I think this was a pretty well-thrown pass. Trying to run a corner route. We had the right route on. Kenny got over and made a nice play on the interception, but when we fumbled, I thought we were going to intercept this. Good play, Mike Clark. The 2nd and 3 where we mishandled the toss, I thought was an immensely big play. Quarterback draw, good play, Satterwhite. Don't make much here. Okay, he's coming back to throw. All right, now he sets and throws. Oh, see, Brooks has got a hold of. We had there. Scott Harmon missed him. We had that same 5th defensive backer robber look on him. When the guy held the ball, Scott just kind of hung back a little bit longer. He'd like for him to send that route, and we had the guy stop. Okay, run the option. Get right down to the goal line. But Kirksey slipped down. It wasn't Robert's fault. It just happened. All right, they're going to run the option. Okay, bulls his way in. Again, I come back to the 2nd and 3 fumble. Okay, now they mishandle the doggone extra point. The guy just flings one out here, and we've got it defended, which now you got a chance. It's 7. We've got a chance anyway. There's plenty enough time left, and we have moved the ball effectively enough in spots, running it. Okay, now the wind, Robbie, actually I thought it was good for us, died down somewhat in the 4th quarter. I mean, it was still there, but it wasn't nearly as dramatic as it was before.
Fleshman was injured on the point after attempt.
I don't know much about his status right there. Okay, we got lucky right here. That wasn't really the cleanest looking play. Now, I thought he was going to score. We come out of this, and if he could have gotten by the one guy, I thought he was going to score. Okay, there's the blitzing linebacker. We've got him picked up. 60 misses. Kenny, again, you would like for that thing to be run a little bit cleaner than that. Good hustle by Cecil Wilson. Good play by Gerald Hudson. If he gets it by this one guy, his ankle bothers him. I don't know whether he could have run the length of the field, but okay, here we go. We break this to the outside. Now that we're at midfield. A repeat of it here. Sweep, boom, there it is. Okay, he's coming up. And okay, now we're across midfield. So you can see we're just hammering.
This is a pickup of 13.
And doing a good job of moving the ball. By and large, and we're staying on the ground. We're taking it and marching the ball again into what wind there was. You can see they're blitzing most ever down. Good job of Kenny on the option here. Like I was talking about before, this is what he does best, this sort of thing. Great effort, great effort on Vernon Brown's part. Again, this I couldn't see it all. I saw from our sideline. Here's a replay of it. Pitch sweep. They've got the thing played. They've got a bunch of folks over there. About 3 of them hit him. Great job, Vernon Brown.
Turns a loss into a pickup of 3.
You bet. And now we almost near first down. You can see we're making really, I think, what is very good effort on the rise. Good effort on Gerald Hudson's part there. So you can bet a lot of pacing going on over here now.
First and 10 from the 25.
All right, sprint pass. All right, now that's a way to turn up and run this football. Good job for it. Runs it inside the 10. We're telling him, hey, if it doesn't come open, go ahead and run it. He's got running ability. Gets on the outside, get that ball tucked away, and let's do something with it, which he did. He was a good, strong run. All right, sweep here. Gerald, come on, Gerald. Stick that ball up in there now a little bit. You can see he's trying to limp around somewhat. They blitzed. We didn't get it protected. Trying to throw the fade again. This is not what Kenny does best. All right, here we go right here. scramble play, get the ball, tuck Kenny, tuck it and score right there. Right there, it gets ripped out. We're going to see a replay of it. Their backside guy is really doing a good job chasing him and just rips the ball. I couldn't see any of this from our sideline other than I see Kenny taking off and running, which I felt good about because he does have speed. Get that ball tucked and let's run. Get it in. Kenny put the ball away. There it goes right there. He was actually trying to tuck it. There it comes out. I had until the ball just kind of came out the back end of the pile. There we go, because there's plenty enough time. I think had we scored, kicked the extra point, gone ahead by one, I mean, this would have still been a real toughie here. Okay, good play, Gilden. Defensively, they got what wind there is back. Carl Straw, I thought Straw really competed hard. He's got his ankles taped. Looked like he had about 2 pounds of tape on his ankles, but good play, Gilden. And I thought the guy really competed real hard. You can see we got a little blitz coming on the backside. They give the ball off to fullback, and they're kind of hammering away. Ran through Price right there. Run up in here, not a great deal. I'll say this. I think by and large, Robbie, our defensive people competed hard. I thought there's Price, from where I stand, I thought we had knocked this ball down, but we didn't. Here, replay of it. Right here, Straw's going back. Price has got him covered. It's right there. Just get your hand on the game of inches. Game of inches on one this close. We can bat that down.
That's a first down.
That's a first down. Big play right here. He's running up inside and doesn't get a lot because we're going to start stopping the clock in here sometime. Turn around and run pitch sweep. I got to give them credit there. I think our guys are playing hard. I think their people are playing hard. All right, good play here. All right, that's Chris Calhoun. Yeah, we ran a little blitz. They tried to. Good job on there. We took a timeout, stopped the clock.
We're under 2 minutes now.
Good play on their part. That's a way to stay with him, Calhoun. Come on, that's okay. And you can see Straw slipped a little bit here. We take a timeout, stop the clock, about 2 minutes. They punt. We tried to block it. Didn't do it. But okay, we get the ball caught. All right, come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. He almost broke to the outside. We've got a chance. Now, again, now we're having to do something with Kenny that with time running out you don't feel real good about, because this is not what he does best. But so we just got to do it. 116, he's going back and throwing. Okay, they've got it very well covered. But like I was talking about before, this first time he's been put in this situation right here. Come on, Brent, get that ball caught. You got to go for it on fourth down. Okay, we come back, try to hit it down the middle. Not a well-thrown ball, you can see. So they've got it. They're going to come in and run the clock out. Wildcats win. But heck of a ball game. I mean, I give Kansas State a lot of credit. Very even, other than just right here. Kansas State wins 23-17.
We'll be back right after this. The final score was Kansas State 23, Oklahoma State 17. And, Coach, it was real disappointing to see Reuben Oliver on the sideline there in the second quarter. His knee banged up again and wasn't able to play anymore.
Well, that's the same knee, and I don't know the extent of it, Robbie, that he had injured in the Sun Bowl year, which 87, I guess it was. And I don't know how. Yeah, and it bothers him from time to time. You know, guy's a good leader. You hate to see anybody get hurt. And I don't know how severe it is right now, but he's off over there. Satterwhite's had the elbow that bothers him. I don't know the extent of that. Now he came in and competed extremely hard. I don't know the extent of Jay Fleshman's ankle. Mayfield, again, is very obvious to see here because of the hamstring, and he couldn't practice it when it turned cold early in the week. That flared up again on him. How much we can get out of him, I'm not real sure about. At that point, Hudson tends to get nicked up a little bit. Ankle bothers him a little bit, gets a hit on the leg a little bit, that kind of stuff. So we had more of that going on. Of course, that's part of the game. I know that. Defensively, we have to play a lot of people. We work a lot of people, Robbie, in a lot of different positions. Those linemen are basically interchangeable. Now, you don't know how they're all the time going to respond when they have to play a lot of positions and you get in a real tight situation where the guy's going to line up where he's supposed to and all this kind of stuff. But, it's just something we got to do. Again, we talked about the situation of linebackers. Ainsley had a dislocated thumb. Nobles had the death in his family. We had to throw Tracy Price in there some. So we had a lot of different combinations of people in the ball game. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses because that's part of it. We had, Robbie, I think 23 first and second year freshmen on this trip with us. Certainly some of them guys that we know we're going to redshirt, but Bill Snyder and I were talking about before the ball game. Bill really didn't know how to approach it with me other than that, hey Pat, y'all are pretty young. I said, yeah, Bill, you can read that program too. But and again, in spots, Robbie, we played pretty good. Again, the crucial turn, I don't know if we'd have won the ball game if Kenny hadn't gotten the ball stripped from him. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. You'd love to have found that out.
Right.
It wasn't like it was the last play of the ball game, but you know, I don't know. I can't tell how much the close losses are wearing on really us or me or the coaches. Sure, a certain degree of that at time after time is going to wear, but from the standpoint, again, like we talked about before, playing a lot of guys, that's going to help their morale. We play quite a few guys defensively out of necessity. You know, those offensive linemen, there are guys having some success. Sure, we know what is in store for us down the line every week, but from a morale standpoint, you really ain't got any other choice other to go out there and do it and get it done and do what you got to do to prepare. Now, that's easier said than done. I'm aware of that. Key thing here, how much of a factor these injuries will be down this stretch run.
Okay. Kenny Ford got a great deal of playing time this past Saturday, and we felt like Kenny Ford provided us with the play of the week. It came in the fourth quarter, less than 7 minutes to go, Oklahoma State driving.
This is the sprint pass that they had covered. And again, Kenny came out there and I think really exerted himself running the ball. Like we were talking about earlier, he has got running ability. He's got speed. He's got some quickness. He obviously has to do a better job protecting the football. He has, again, not done a great deal of this under pressure. And I'm not saying he will be the starting quarterback. I don't really know at this point. But this does show you what kind of running skills he does have.
Okay, and I know in talking with some of the offensive linemen, the success that they had Saturday, and with the injuries that you've talked about already, it makes practice that much more important. You got to be ready and go out there and work hard every day.
Well, regardless of how talented an athlete is, Robbie, again, like we were talking about Mayfield, who is talented, and it's not that Curtis is trying to get out of something he's not. But you got to be out there, or how good you are to make a difference. You got to be out there getting snaps, getting better, and doing the things you got to do to prepare yourself physically and mentally to play in the ball game. But again, you got to play the hand that's dealt you, and we're perfectly aware of that, and we will get that done.
All right. When we come back, we will introduce you to a gentleman who has been involved with Oklahoma State football for a long time. We'll do that when the Pat Jones Show continues. When Oklahoma State gets ready to play football on Saturdays, there are an awful lot of people involved in the preparation and execution of the game plan. The players, coaches, trainers, managers. Today in our Cowboy Feature Report, we would like to introduce you to a gentleman who has been involved with Oklahoma State football for almost 20 years.
Standard equipment for a football team is the headset. Almost all of the coaches wear them. The players use them. The headset is the communication line from the field to the coach's booth in the press box. It is through the headset meaningful information is passed throughout the course of a game. It would be difficult to play a game without a headset.
Able to Baker or something like that, a label in here.
Monday through Friday, Charlie Bacon teaches electrical engineering at Oklahoma State. Charlie has 2 degrees from OSU. He has taught at the university since 1966. Charlie is a native Oklahoman. He was raised in Bartlesville, and he is a sports fan. On Saturdays, you will find Charlie Bacon on the Oklahoma State sideline. Charlie is responsible for hooking up the headsets and making sure they work properly. In 1973, when Jim Stanley was head coach, the headsets were in a mess. Charlie fixed them, and he's been doing it ever since. It may seem like a minor task to some, but it is important to others, and it makes Charlie feel like he's part of the team.
Absolutely. I'm a minor player. I'm, I guess, what you call one of the higher class hangers-on here, but I feel a part of this. The coaches are wonderful to work with, and the players, and of course one reason I'm teaching is to work with young people, and I just love being down here with all of the players and the trainers and the managers. I think it keeps me young.
A seat in the stands allows you to see the game better than if you were on the sidelines. But on the sidelines, you can feel the game, and that's what Charlie likes. He also likes the attachment to the players that has developed from walking the sidelines.
And not all the name players. There have been some fine young men come through here who've accomplished their academic goals, and I'm interested in that certainly. I love it when these players graduate and get their degrees, and whether they go to pro ball or not, become successful in life. So I hang on to those names, and I remember them when they were here playing and practicing and working hard and being, I think, the best example of a student athlete.
Charlie has a list of friends who would like to have his job, but as long as Charlie Bacon is able to walk and string cable, The headsets are in good hands.
Well, until the coaches have enough problems where they want a replacement, I think that's what's happened in football. If you don't perform, they find somebody who can. So, yeah, I just love to keep on doing it.
How's Charlie Bacon grade out on the film?
Well, Charlie is obviously very, very professional in everything he does. I think this is interesting, Robbie's standpoint. This is a guy that is one of the major players in the College of Electrical Engineering, and he's one of the major players in what goes on out here on this football field. That stuff is very, very complicated, what he's talking about, and we don't claim to know anything about it. You get all those cords strung out down there, and as hectic as any sideline is. And I think this is the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that people probably don't really realize going on. And of course, I've been around here 12 years myself, and I consider Charlie and his family very close friends, and all the coaches like having him around, and he, again, technically does a very good job of things. And just to see what he was talking about as far as seeing the development of youngsters and seeing them come through the program, whether they're a great player or not, and what he observes in the sidelines and on trips and in locker rooms and this sort of thing. But he does a real good job of stuff, and Charlie hadn't ever got to worry about having a position in this program, because aside from being real good at what he does, both in the classroom and for us, he's a heck of a good person, and one that we really respect and like having around.
Well, we enjoy being around him every Saturday, and we thank Charlie for giving us his time to show everybody a little bit of behind the scenes of what goes on down there on the sideline. When we come back, we'll take a look at Big 8 results, take a look at the schedule coming up, and talk about Oklahoma State's next opponent when the Pat Jones Show continues. This past weekend, a couple of the Big 8 conference schools played outside of the conference.
Well, here, Robbie, the Iowa State hung in there with Colorado pretty good. The first score I'd heard, Iowa State was up. But again, Colorado goes ahead and wins in. Boulder, Miami, and Kansas, I guess, had them a brawl prior to the game. And I think Kansas hung in there pretty good with them. Now, Nebraska just completely mauled Missouri, because we'll talk a little bit more about Nebraska here. But again, at Lincoln, and I don't know much of the particulars of it, Texas wins a close one over OU. OU has a chance to kick a late field goal and doesn't do it. But, Robbie, as far as us going up to Lincoln, now, again, Nebraska has built momentum up. I don't know much about their health status or anything else. It's a little bit scary from the standpoint that anytime they say we've got probably the best defensive unit we've had in 17 years, that's a little bit scary. Now, I watched them against Kansas State, and Kansas State battled around with it. Kansas State gave their offense some problems. Part of it will depend on how healthy we can get. Our guys will go up there and play well. That's a tough place, tough stadium. We had a heck of a ball game here with them in Stillwater last year that went down late. So again, now we'll have to have us a good week of work, have us a good plan, go up there and get after it. Again, we're not unaware of what we're getting into.
And that'll be an exciting experience for some of these younger players to go up and play in a place like that.
Well, exciting is putting it mildly. Just enlightened might be a better word for it. But again, Nebraska will be ranked very, very high, I'm going to imagine, with what happened nationally. So let's go. Let's have a good week of practice, and let's go up there to play well.
All right. Good luck to you. We're out of time. For Pat Jones and Oklahoma State University, I'm Robbie Robertson. Goodbye, everybody.